Swiggity Soo, how'd you do guys? This is Kid Punch and I'm back again guys with another video, and today guys I am actually bringing you the Scar Hybrid team I've been using over the last 5 episodes of Pokemon Showdown sessions, and I'm actually gonna make a team analysis guys, just show you what my thinking behind the team was, why I chose the different Pokemon, and obviously why I like to use them. So basically the course started off with me looking at Scar's team from 2015 Worlds. I think as far as I know, I think it was 5 out of these 6 Pokemon, I think. Basically there was a Landorus Fairy form instead of Conkeldurr. I think the Landorus was Assault Vest. I decided to go with Conkeldurr just because I prefer using it more, but I'll go into that a bit later on. So also, before I go any further guys, if you'd like to leave a like, comment, or even subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Liking the video only takes a few seconds and it would really help out guys, but obviously only do it if you want to. So let's get straight into the team. We are starting off with Gardevoir today. Gardevoir is a Pokemon that basically starts off the core. The main core behind these three, well, behind Gardevoir, Amoongus, and Heatran, that is basically the 3 Pokemon you'll always find in a Gardevoir Amoongus combo, only because they have great synergy. So yeah, that's usually what you'll find. So we did start off with Gardevoir, obviously, with the Gardevoir and Trace as its ability. Trace basically means that on switching, it randomly copies a adjacent foe's ability. So for example, if your opponent has a Heatran and a Landorus on the field, it can either trace the the Flash Fire from Landorus, Heatran, sorry, or the Intimidate from Landorus. So that's, I chose Trace over something like Telepathy because I didn't really have a Pokemon that used Earthquake. Maybe if I did use Landorus in the future, then I would probably use Telepathy, but I decided to use Trace just because it's really fun to see me get something like a Parental Bond Kangaskhan, or get something like Intimidate, which actually helped out a lot in this when using this team. So onto the moveset, we did have Hyper Voice as our first move. It got the Pixelate ability as it Mega Evolve, so basically Hyper Voice turned into a Fairy type move. So it has 90 base power, it gets a stab bonus which is fantastic. It also gets a 1.3 times more damage output just from the fact that Pixelate does that. So it gets like a 1.6 times damage output boost, so that's like another 50 damage on top of that, which is fantastic for a Pokemon with such a high special attack as well as a Mega Evolution. We then went with Psychic over the popular Psyshock. You can use either, it depends what your team is. Since I already had 2 physical attackers, I felt that Psychic was fair enough to use. Also it just meant that I had a better answer against other Amoonguses because most Amoonguses are physically built. Psyshock actually hits your Pokemon for physical damage, so well, it obviously is affected by the defensive stats over the special stats that Psychic provides. Also, Psyshock does have 10 less base power. We then went Trick Room next, just because Trick Room was something I wanted to try out. Trick Room's really cool because it obviously reverses the speed tiers, so the slower Pokemon always go first. So Amoongus, for example, can get really quick spores off. As you can see, this team is relatively slow. No Scar Pokemon, Conkeldurr, Amoongus, Heatran and Tyranitar, and even Gardevoir can all be made slow, so that's basically what I went with. Protect is our last move just to scout out and obviously protect ourselves. Onto the EV spreads, very basic indeed. We went with 248 in HP, 252 in special attack, and 4 in defense and special defense just to maximize our EV count. Obviously just get the most base stats out of using Gardevoir. We did actually add a Modest Nature onto my Gardevoir, only because I didn't want to use Quiet, because I thought being as slow as possible isn't really that big of a deal. Also, it's always nice to speed type with other Gardevoirs. So obviously I went with a Modest Nature over Quiet. I didn't want to go for Timid either because it wouldn't really make sense with the 248 in HP. On to our next Pokemon, we went with Amoongus with the Rocky Helmet, a very standard item to find on a Pokemon like this. Amoongus is one of those Pokemon that you hate to see at Team Preview, but it's actually quite fun to use and it's quite easy to use really. It's just obviously predicting when to use Rage Powder, Sport or Giga Drain, or even just protecting the Pokemon, because a lot of people like to double up into it because it's such a big threat. So we did actually run Regenerator on this Amoongus. Regenerator actually restores 1/3 of its max HP when it switches out, which is fantastic. I really liked using it. I was going to go with the ability Effect Spore for a while, only because Effect Spore is really funny to use, especially if like a Landorus starts to go for a U-turn and then gets like, well, it can't get paralyzed, but if it like gets put to sleep or poison, that'd be really funny. If it did have the burn chance, I think I'd definitely go with Effect Spore. but just for this one I did go for Regenerator, just because it's probably the safer option out of the two abilities. Onto the moveset, we have Giga Drain here. Sludge Bomb is a move I don't like to use because Giga Drain just gets you that extra HP. Also, this team doesn't have the best matchup against ground water types such as Gastron and Swampert, so Giga Drain was a necessity for this team. We did run Spore. Spore is obviously a standard move to put on Amoongus. If you didn't know what it does, it's 100% accurate, which is the only move in the game that's 100% accurate, and also puts the opponent to sleep, which is fantastic. We did have Rage Powder next. Rage Powder is probably one of the biggest selling points on Amoongus after Spore, I think. Rage Powder basically means that the foes, basically if you use Rage Powder, all your opponent's attacks actually direct at the opponent that used Rage Powder. So for example, if you have an Amoongus on the field and a Gardevoir, and your opponent has like, I'm not sure, like a, well, let's say he has an Aegis Slash and he decides to go for a Flash Cannon. If you Rage Powder away, instead of Gardevoir taking the Flash Cannon, Amoongus takes it, which is fantastic. I really like using Amoongus a lot. We do have Protect as our last slot, just so we stopped, so we can actually predict our opponents that want to delve up into it, and obviously Protect. Also, it's a great way for us to avoid Salamence and then maybe like get a Rock Slide off with Tyranitar, Hyper Voice off with Gardevoir, or even something like a Thunder Wave off with Thunderous. Onto the EV spread, is a very basic one. You might be saying, why is there no special defense EVs apart from the 4? I basically went with this EV spread because I thought that Amoongus wasn't that important to take special hits, because obviously Tyranitar gets the boost in the sand, Conkeldurr has the Assault Vest, so Gardevoir is pretty specially defensive, and also so is Heatran. So I thought optimizing Amoongus's defense was probably the most important thing. Also, its special defense isn't that bad with 80 special defense, and I went with a Bold Nature as well, just to completely optimize and max out our defenses so we could take pretty much any hit. And also, with if our opponent decides to hit us with like a double edge from the King set, they're also going to take Rocky Helmet damage, which is really, really good for us. So that's Amoongus for you guys. So these are basically the two Pokemon that I concentrate on most. Right. Next we went with a really cool Pokemon also known as Heatran. Heatran's one of my favourite Pokemon to use really. I especially like the shiny form, especially with the blue eyes and the, like, I guess it's a more orangey or red, like body. But anyway, we decided to go with Focus Sash on Heatran. Focus Sash is one of those moves one of those items that I absolutely love using on Heatran. I've used it so many times and it's come in clutch so many times as well. You might be saying, why not run Shuka Berry? But basically, Focus Sash, I don't know why it works so well with me, but it does. That's why I really do like using it. So I use Focus Sash on this Heatran just because it meant I could survive Earthquake, close combats, pretty much anything my opponent wanted to throw at me. I think a couple of times it came in really handy against Scald, Politoed in the rain, where we actually survived, and then we could actually hit it back with a Earth Power to take it out, which was fantastic. We have the ability to Flash Fire because Flame Body isn't actually viable to use in VGC, as it is a 5th gen move that you can only obtain through that game. And since the Pentagon rule applies in VGC 15, that means you obviously can't get hold of Flame Body. So we did run Flash Fire on this Heatran. Onto the moveset, we did go with Flamethrower as our first move. I decided to go with Flamethrower over Heat Wave because Heatran doesn't actually have max special attack. It does have a timid nature. So I went with Flamethrower. Also, I prefer to use Flamethrower generally because it has 100% accuracy, and knowing Pokemon, it always seems to miss the Pokemon you want to hit with Heat Wave. So I went with Flamethrower over it. We then went with Hidden Power Ice. For a long time this is Overheat, but I never found myself actually using it. Hidden Power Ice, for example, though, can actually take out Landers. They can also do so much damage to Salamence and also Guard Drop. So I really like using Hidden Power Ice. If I could choose again, I'd probably go with Overheat. Just because, you know, Overheat is such a good stab move and I really like using it. Onto our third move, we went with Earth Power. Earth Power, I went with Earth Power over Flash Cannon just so we dealt with other Heatrans. Also having ground type coverage is really nice, and I really enjoyed using it. On our last move, we did go for Protect just to scout out once again. Onto the EV spread, very basic as I always say. 4 in HP, 252 in the special attack, and 252 in speed with a timid nature. So this was Heatran, so this was basically my core. I decided to add on Tyranitar from Scar's team, and we're going to get straight into Tyranitar actually. So here's Tyranitar here. Tyranitar, a really, really cool Pokemon to use. Really, really fun as well. Not a very unexpected item, Life Orb. It does actually OHKO Thunderous if it's as long as it doesn't have like 252 HP and like 148 defense with a bold nature. If it doesn't have that, I think it gets a one-hit knockout, which is absolutely absurd of how good this Pokemon is. With the ability Sandstream, it basically just summons sand, gives it a really good special defense boost because Sandstorm, if Sandstorm up, it actually gives rock type Pokemon an extra, I think it's a 1.5 times boost in their special defense. I'm not completely sure, it could be 1.3, but I really like to use it. So onto the moveset, I did go with Rock Type as our first move just because it was it's basically a really fantastic move, probably one of the best in the game. It hits both opponents at 75 base power, which is okay, 90 accuracy, and it actually has a 30% chance to finish the target. Really good against Charizard, Talonflame, basically any flying type. This Pokemon pretty OHKOs, apart from maybe like Landorus, which is neutral because it's ground typing. So I really enjoyed using Tyranitar for its rock side move. On to our next one, we went with Crunch. Crunch is stab once again, really good against Ghost type Pokemon and Aegislash. Really enjoyed using it. We then went with Low Kick. Low Kick's actually fantastic. I used Low Kick over Superpower just because it gave us more momentum, and I think Low Kick does a lot. Low Kick does a lot of damage to Kangaskhan with the Life Orb. I think it actually has a really good chance at OHKO. I'm not quite sure on that, though. You guys are gonna have to research that. And for our last move, we went with Protect, just because Protect obviously prevents all moves from afflicting us. So far, all 4 of our Pokemon have had Protect. So onto our EV spread, we went 252 HP, 252 attack, and 4 special defense with a adamant nature. So this is Tyranitar for you guys. I hope you guys end up using him. I really do like the Life Orb set with Protect. You could always go with Dragon Dance over something like Low Kick if you really wanted to in the future, and maybe put a bit some more speed EVs. But that's Tyranitar for you guys, and let's move on to our next Pokemon. So for our next Pokemon, we use Thunderous. Thunderous was a Pokemon that I was debating not to use just because I hate going up against it, and it's a real pain, you know, just to face in general. My main reasons for choosing Thunderous though is because, as well as Trick Room, which Gardevoir had, I also needed another way to have speed control, because Gardevoir is quite vulnerable, especially with big threats like Landorus, Kangaskhan. Heatran's pretty good against it. Just a lot of Pokemon, even Talonflame's really good against it. I needed another form of speed control, which meant that I can still sweep my opponent's team, because speed control is so vital in VGC 15. So yeah, so guys, if you ever have the opportunity, always have at least two types of speed control, because you would not believe how useful it comes. It's basically, most of the time, it's the difference between winning and losing. So we are using Thunderous here with the Citrus Berry. Citrus Berry actually covers 1/4 of your max HP when you're at half HP or less, which is fantastic. You do have the ability Prankster. If you don't know what Prankster does, well, you should do if you do play VGC, but for you guys who don't, it actually gives a priority, gives you a +1 priority for non-damaging moves such as Thunderwave, Swagger, Tool, not Protect, because Protect always happens. Just moves like that, I guess Rain Dance if you really want to run that on your Thunderous. So onto the moveset here, we went with Thunderbolt's our first move. It's Stab, OHKO's Talonflame, OHKO's Charizard. No, it doesn't OHKO Charizard, sorry, but it does a lot of damage to Charizard. We do have Thunderwave next, just to paralyze our opponents. This was our speed control, pretty much. Main reason you use Thunderous is because of Prankster Thunderwave, which is fantastic. Also really bulky, really great typing, so I really enjoyed using it. We then had Swagger. Swagger is a really cool move again. Basically it raises the target's attack by 2, but it does confuse it, which is fantastic. So obviously it's a really big risk using it against physical attackers like Landorus with a massive attack, as well as Kangaskhan, but Swagger is also really good against special type attackers. I always found myself wanting Swagger over Hidden Power Ice, and that's why I always use it. It's completely your choice though, guys. If you feel like you don't have enough ice coverage, you can always go with Hidden Power Ice. For our last move, we went with Taunt just because for 3 turns it means that our opponents can't use the status move, so it pretty much shuts down Aegislash, Amoongus, other Prankster users like Sableye. Whimsicott probably outspeeds Thunderous before you can get the Taunt off, but just Pokemon like that. So I really enjoyed using Taunt. Let's go into the EV spread here. Basically, this EV spread lets us survive a Jolly Double Edge from Kangaskhan. I think it even lets us survive an Adamant one, so it lets us do that. The 72 in special attack means that we can OHKO Talonflames, and it also just lets Thunderous do a job that doesn't include just tormenting our opponent. So if we want to get some damage off, it allows us to do this. And also the 68 in special defense here lets us survive a I think it lets us survive 2 Ice Beams from Ludicolo and Politoed, which is really, really good. So no speed EVs because I thought if this Pokemon's going to be in a Trick Room team as well, speed isn't really necessary. Also, this Pokemon's primary target is the Thunder Wave before attacking. On to our last Pokemon of the team is our Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr, I cannot stress enough how good this guy is. It's so anti-meta. It can do so much damage to Kangaskhan, Landorus, Thundurus, Tyranitar, Heatran. It can just do so much damage. Obviously it has weaknesses to Sylveon, Gardevoir, Talonflame, Salamence and whatnot, but that's why you gotta play around it, guys, and I thought this team helped Conkeldurr do that really, really well. So we do have Conkeldurr, Pure Fighting type, which is fantastic. Assault Vest as its hot held item. I was tempted to go with something like a Cobra Berry, which halved flying type damage done to it, so obviously a double edge from Adamant Salamence wouldn't OHKO it, which would be really cool. But I decided to go with Assault Vest because it seemed more practical and obviously less situational. We have the ability Iron Fist. The reason I went with Iron Fist over Guts because basically our opponents who end up burning this guy have a lot of guts. See what I did there? But no, honestly, not many people are ballsy enough to burn a Guts Conkeldurr, so I decided to go with Iron Fist just to try it out. It only gives us a 1.2 times more power output, which I guess, you know, you could argue Guts is just better just in case you get paralyzed. If I could choose again, I'd probably go with Guts. If I were to run like a Life Orb Conkeldurr, I'd definitely go Iron Fist because like a Mach Punch does like 90% to Kangaskhan, which is absolutely absurd. But for this guy, we did go with Iron Fist just to try it out. I did like it, but I think Guts is definitely better. Onto the moveset, we did go with Mach Punch as our first move. It has 40 base power, usually goes first because it's priority, and it also is a fighting type move, so it gets Stab, Iron Fist boost as well, which is really good. We then had Drain Punch just for HP regeneration. It also was a really good stab, and I really enjoyed using it. For our third move, we went with Ice Punch just to deal with Landorus, Thundurus. Also deals with flying types like Salamence, and even deals with Garchomp really well as well. Ice is a really good move to have, although the typing is quite bad in terms of defensive defenses. So I went with Ice Punch as our last move, third to last move, sorry, just because Ice Punch just did a really good job for me. And for our last move, we went with Knock Off because Knock Off has 65 base power and 100 accuracy. Also removes the item, so really good against something like Cresselia, and also really good against Aegislash as well, as long as it doesn't have weakness policy. Onto our EV spread, it's really basic once again. We have 248 in HP, 252 in attack, 8 in special defense, and an Adamant nature. I went with Adamant instead of Brave, only because I didn't want to get outsped by Amoongus, which would be really devastating. Amoongus has 30 speed EVs and Conkeldurr has 45, so somebody did try to EV their Amoongus to outspeed minimum speed Conkeldurr, and that could be devastating. Obviously it'd be great in Trick Room, but I just wanted to go with Adamant just so we had a safer option. Also it meant that we didn't always have to set up Trick Room. So that's it, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this. This is basically the team. I know it might be a bit rough and I didn't go, like, I know the EV spreads are, I've never made a team with this basic EV spreads, like, well, this season anyway. Obviously in VGC 14 I was a bit new to it, so probably I would have, like 252 HP, 252 special defense, pretty good. Anyway guys, so thank you so much for watching. As I say, guys, I hope you did enjoy, and yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Go check out my other content, and for now, Pancham people, goodbye.